With just under 40 years of grape growing and winemaking experience, Cedar Creek Estate Winery is an East Kelowna pioneer and one of the oldest wineries in the Okanagan Valley. Over the past 3 years, the property has undergone a complete transformation, beginning with a shift to certified organic grape growing and production, and a winery renovation that has spawned 3 intriguing farmhouse-like structures designed to capture the rustic farm feel of the area. The cluster of buildings tucked into the steep slopes overlooking Okanagan Lake gives off a village-like atmosphere that will remain as timeless as the wines and a gathering point for the next chapter in North Okanagan wine. We caught up with General Manager Graham Norden and winemaker Taylor Whelan to talk about the changes in the future at Cedar Creek. Well, Graham, it's been about 3 years now that the project's been moving along, but it's been a three-pronged project. There's been work in the vineyard, work in the winery, big work about organics. How would you say it's all come together?
I think what's been really exciting is that they've been these unique projects that have all been working together for a common goal, for what we really wanted to achieve in the vineyard, what wine style and where we wanted to take the wine program, and then ultimately the guest experience and the hospitality experience here at the winery. And organics is really the common thread that ties everything together.
Let's just talk about the organics for a minute. What does that mean to you and to the public?
Well, the first step for us was wanting to be certified. And so this was a project that we started in 2017. And to go through this process of not just farming organically, but to be certified organic, you actually need to have 3 years of consecutive certification to then be certified.
Right.
And that was really important for us, for full transparency to the consumer, to know that we've done the due diligence and that they know that they can see the stamp on the label.
Yeah.
So we were fully certified in the vineyard in 2019. And we also completed certification in the winery as well. So we're now approaching our 4th harvest of organic farming.
Norden's reference to the winery at Cedar Creek also being certified organic is significant. Certifying the grapes as organically grown is really only half the job, and by verifying the process inside the winery as well, Cedar Creek has declared it's all in on organics. We asked winemaker Taylor Whelan just what certifying a winery organic means for the public.
You can kind of think of it as 2 different processes. So you can have the vineyards delivering certified organic fruit, and then you can take that and produce conventional wines with it, or you can maintain that organic processing. So we're not adding anything that's not a certified product. We're using a lot of natural fermentation, and we're getting all of our processes certified by EcoCert, which is the organic certifying body. We're following all those processes through from when we receive the fruit all the way to bottle. So we're saying we're going to really kind of restrict the number of products and the types of products we're going to use, in the hope that we're getting a finished wine that's a bit closer to the kind of the spirit and also the growing season that we had in the Okanagan that year.
When you look around at the property now, it's a very organic property. You've got 3 different buildings. It's almost like a little village. That's a nice setup too for consumers.
This was really an opportunity for us to reimagine what a winery guest experience could look like.
Yeah.
And that's something we took a lot of pride in, wanting to do something that I think is unique to the Okanagan.
Yeah.
And seeing other places around the world, whether that's Napa Valley or Sonoma or Oregon, taking a much different approach where these are tailored experiences, they're guided experiences.
If I'm coming as a consumer now, there's no more standing up to the bar tasting wine. So tell us a little bit about how the experiences will roll out here.
And I think it was really the unique opportunity to be able to combine food and wine and viticulture and winemaking and have that be part of a guest's education, but ultimately the experience. So if we can see probably fewer people, but have more meaningful connections with them.
Right.
And so where we started was a farm to glass experience in our courtyard.
Yeah.
So it's seated, it's guided, and any experience that's from a tasting perspective has the opportunity to be complemented by our culinary program. And then we took the same approach in the restaurant, where the dining experience was reimagined, that it wasn't a menu that was complemented by wines. We started with our wine program and had the menu built around Taylor's amazing wines.
One other interesting aspect is how the restaurant and the menu it's been rejigged so that the wine is first and the food is then paired in. Are you directly involved in that with the chefs?
Chef Neil and I work really closely to try and focus on what wines we want to be showing in the restaurant and how his cooking can adapt to show those wines the best. And we can also talk about what kind of food he wants to cook, given there's certain ingredients that are in season in certain types of the year. I can say, oh, we've got actually this Library 2014 Block 2 Pinot Noir that would go really good with mushrooms. So why don't we pull that out of the library? And that's going to be a feature on that particular experience for, let's say, a few weeks.
For those guests who want to take it a little bit further, you have other things planned, like starting in the vineyard, for instance, which I'm a big fan of. I love that they can go in the vineyard to be there and to maybe feel a bit about what you guys like to talk about now is the North, being the true North. Maybe we should explore that concept a little bit about where you're headed with that.
That's really the future for Cedar Creek, is being able to tell a very unique story of the North Okanagan.
Yeah.
So we've got this incredible home block vineyard site that was planted in 1991, but it gives us the opportunity with every guest that comes onto the property for one of those experiences, starting in the vineyard. To your point, it's not often that we actually get a chance to see where things are coming from.
Yeah.
And I think everything for us, that vineyard is the heart and soul of Cedar Creek. So for a guest to be able to walk through the vines, to kick up the dirt, to taste a berry off the vine, it's such a unique and interactive experience that I think delves a bigger connection with the wine. So it really is going from farm to glass. And we see ourselves as a wine farm.
I think it's great evolution in the Okanagan. I think the British Columbians, as they discovered that we have vineyards, they accepted wine. We did all that, but I don't think they really understood what a vineyard was about until you walk into it. Then they come out of the vineyard and they go to the cellar. So what are they going to do in the cellar?
Yeah, so that's, I think, our opportunity to bridge the gap between vineyard and winemaking, and then what's the next step along that life cycle in terms of different vessels and barrels, and they get a chance to actually taste a wine that's being pulled from one of our barrels.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a unique opportunity for the general consumer that they don't often see. We see finished wines a lot that we bring off the shelf, but to see a wine at 2 or 3 months along, what maybe 12, 18, 24 months in a barrel, it gives us the opportunity to really talk a lot about vineyard to winemaking,
Yeah.
and then ultimately into the glass.
And the big experience here, what is that all about, the Platinum experience?
So our top tier wines are called Platinum wines. It's a tier that's all single vineyard or single block wines. Everything is a single vineyard wine with the hope that we're really capturing the kind of the flavor of that vineyard, the growing season in that vineyard, and the soils, and kind of everything that goes with that single vineyard story.
What are these blocks? Home blocks, blocks in the vineyard? You're crazy about blocks.
The block program really came out of, it started in 2010, and it was our opportunity to start to tell a story of the vineyard. That this home block vineyard, it's 50 acres, but from very dense clay at the base to sand and silt and loam at the top,
Yep.
it changes the way that the grapes are grown. So we really wanted to tell a story about where those grapes are coming from, and it's starting from terroir and now all the way coming into the table. Oftentimes, especially in the new world, we don't think about aging wines for the long term, where we really have that opportunity here in the Okanagan.
It seems like you've done a lot of thinking about this experience, what I might call the Okanagan experience.
I think you said it perfectly. I think this is our opportunity to not just reimagine, but to do things that are truly unique in the Okanagan Valley, that we're not trying to be Napa, we're not trying to be France or Italy, we're trying to be authentically Okanagan. And hopefully that when guests come and experience what we're doing here, I think they're gonna take that back and say, this was the experience that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. It was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, and incredibly fresh wines that can stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the best in the world, and a dining experience that rivals some that I've had around the world. So I think this is a really exciting opportunity for Cedar Creek.